Hello, students, and welcome back to Stern Intensive Learning. And today we're going to learn, still, we are on Unit 1. Uh, and now we have new sub-unit, which is 1.2, Types of Business Entities. And refer to the introductions that we had last time. I think you also already have a little bit insight about the business sectors, um, as well as how if you would like to create a new business, how if you would like to start up a new business, yeah, and what kind of things that you need to avoid and what kind of things that you need to pursue. Yeah. And now, yeah, we're starting with something really crucial for you to start up your business, which there are types of business that is actually created as an option for you to choose. Yeah. And now we see here, yeah, maybe you also maybe you have been thinking about how the business can become more successful in term of growth, in term of profit, in term of sales, because now what we're going to discuss is about if you run your business by yourself, do you think you'll be able to grow your business, or do you need a partner to do so? There is a quote here that stated, yeah, this is coming from Warren Buffett, and I think you guys also already know who is this, who he is, yeah. A partnership is not a legal contract between two equal individuals. It's an emotional alliance between two people who are committed to each other's success. So it means it's very crucial that you have someone to trust in building your business. Before we continue any further, I would like to provide you the business objectives that we will have. Yeah. First of all, you will be able to distinct between private and public sectors. And if we're talking about the private sectors, which is included also as profit or commercial business, it divided into four definitions. There are sole traders, partnership, privately held companies, and publicly held companies. Afterwards, we will have another type of business, which this is actually included as a profit social enterprises. There are private sector's company, public sector company, and cooperative. And we will define all those um, definitions that you need to know. The main features of the following type of non-profit social enterprises also will be called as non-governmental organizations or NGOs. Yeah, which the governments are not involved in these activities. And the aim of this company also not a profit, but the benefit to bigger communities. So, and we will talk about it, of course, later on. So, this chart, oh no, this graph, yeah, or this image, these figures allow you to see the distinctions between public sectors and private sectors. Yeah. And especially the functions of the public sectors and the private sectors. I think you guys also, if you live in a country where a government, run also their own business in order to facilitate you a public facility that the citizens can enjoy, the citizens can use, yeah, for their daily life, yeah, because in order to have growth economics, in order to have better economics in the country, the government also must earn, yeah, money by running a public sectors, which normally the public sectors is coming from the heart of the economics of the country, such as electricity, clean water, um, oil. So those kind of uh, hard economics that organized or run by the government. Yeah, and we can see here also the features of the public sectors. Yeah, normally if we're talking about public sectors, the public sectors owned and controlled by the governments. Yeah, and like I already mentioned before, it provides essential goods and services to citizens. Yeah, again, if we're talking about the essential goods, it's actually like the heart of the economics. And services, we're talking about schools, we're talking about health, yeah, hospitals, we're talking about public transportations, yeah, and financed by the government through taxes or other public funds, yeah. And the purpose of these public sectors, yeah, of course, it will be for the public to any decisions making process. Yeah, the government should be transparent if the government would like to provide something based on the public. Now, below the features of public sectors, you will see the private sectors, which normally own and control by the private individuals. Yeah, and the purpose of these enterprises or private sectors is, of course, profit maximizations. Yeah, and no government involvement. Yeah, only that the private sectors has to pay tax, of course, and of course, largely privately funded. This is if you would like to go more deeper into the definitions, yeah, which I think if you read again, it's actually already mentions based on previous slides. And again, if we talking more about public sectors, what the government would like to provide to its citizens is, if we're talking about infrastructures, yeah, normally it's all about transportations, freeway, yeah, networks, telecommunications, disposal, waste disposal system, food control system. If we're talking about public facility, we're talking about schools, yeah, public housing, public transportations, as well as hospitals, yeah, the health center organized by the government. And after you get some understanding of the difference between public and private sectors, I think you can see in the bigger pictures, yeah, to, the purpose of this international mindedness is actually like for you to see how is actually the countries around the world are working. If we're talking about China and USA, they have very big gap of public and private sectors definitions, which normally, if we're talking about USA, USA has more free market approach, which less government interventions. So if you would like to do a business in USA, you will have a freedom to run any kind of business form or types, or even in what kind of market you would like to enter. Yeah, natural resources, telecommunications, pretty much free in USA. But in the other hand, in China, yeah, the government really plays a greater role in managing the economy, in providing more goods and services through public sectors. Yeah, because the country system, I think you can say, the USA is more liberal economics. And if we're talking about communism in China, more or less, there is more government interventions in the economics, economics involvement. Yeah. So that's why it comes to the questions: what assumptions or value or belief of populations may lead a country to prefer a private or public approach to meeting human needs? And then the second question is, to what extent should the public sectors collaborate with the private sectors to the welfare of the society in the environment? So it's more or less economics questions, which I think you have sometimes to think of, yeah, and do some research about it. Please, if later on you already receive some answers, you can also post your answers on the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe, yeah, and push likes buttons if you find these contents helpful for you to learn business management in IBDP. So if you see these tables and you can refer to any sources, if you have books or Cognity or Think IB as your learning materials, yeah, you can refer to these tables, and later on, maybe you can have some free time to read or find more informations about the features of the private sectors and the public sectors. Yeah, if we're talking about ownership, it's very clear that private sectors is owned by the individuals or businesses, and public sectors owned and operated by government's bodies. The motivations of private sectors, yeah, like I already mentioned before, this is actually only like summarizing what I already uh, explained to you before, yeah, based on previous slides. So normally it's driven by making profits, yeah, from for their owners and shareholders, yeah, and public sectors, yeah, has a purpose in providing service to the general public, yeah. And again, you can see the facility or infrastructures that in your own country, yeah, in your own city where you live in, what kind of facilities actually already provided by the governments there, yeah. And if we're talking about the type of organizations, there are companies, social enterprises, partnerships, sole traders, that which later on we will talk about it. And if we're talking about public sectors, yeah, it included such as a government departments, there's a public enterprises and regulatory bodies, which normally has tax authorities, yeah, who runs the funding, yeah. And if we're talking about operating mechanism, yeah, it operates based on market forces. So the individual and the businesses has to do often innovations how they can survive in the market, yeah. because there is so many customer on consumer choices, and the demands is very fluctuative. Yeah. And then if we're talking about public sectors, it operates, of course, based on government decisions, policies, and regulations. Yeah. Normally, before it run by the governments will publicly announce if such as if they want to increase the prices, if they want to reduce the prices, yeah, the clean water prices, the oil prices, yeah, normally government is always announced this policy. And if we're talking about the benefit, yeah, of employment and economic contributions, of course, the private sectors also will contribute to economic growth and development of country as a whole, because the private companies also influencing in terms of technology and employments, yeah, as well as public sectors, of course. What normally happen, yeah, when the public sectors employ, it become stable employment, because it's actually very essential to public service. Yeah, before we continue to the types for profit organizations, I think what you can do is, you know, how you should um, answering those questions. Yeah, and later on, please try to post it on the comments below. So thank you for your attentions, and please don't forget to subscribe and push like buttons and share. Yeah, let us meet again in the next part. Thank you and see you. Bye bye.